So Jupiter is in Gemini between now and June, and then it goes into Cancer. So it's like, I think we should do like a good news kind of thing where you can expect that to happen, because I'd rather talk about that than Mars being retrograde in Cancer, because it's retrograde until probably the next 2 months or so. It doesn't even go direct until the end of February. And that just kind of means that things that you thought you had handled between Labor Day and Thanksgiving kind of come back to go, oh yeah, no, we're not done with that yet. There's more stuff you need to do. So I would rather talk about what we can look forward to as far as good news, where you can expand things in your life in 2025, because I think we all need to look forward to that.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
All right.
So with Jupiter being in Gemini with Aquarius, we're in Capricorn right now, which are the Buccaneers, by the way, are Capricorns. We started out our life as Sagittarians, and then when the Glazers bought it, it got turned into Capricorns, which is when we went from creamsicle orange, which is kind of like a Sagittarius color, to pewter lead, which is a Saturn color, which is ruled by Capricorn. So that all being said, I'm with Jupiter being in the 6th house of work, health, service, and responsibilities, I think the Bucks play a good part of January, to tell you the truth. I'm cautiously optimistic about that. But for Capricorns everywhere, for them, it's a matter of expanding their responsibilities. This is not necessarily getting a new job. This is more along the lines of the job that you're doing, your existing job, gets better for you one way. Either the working situation is better, the circumstances around it better, colleagues are better, an advancement for career advancement. None of that says change jobs. Most of that says in the existing job that you're in. The other good news for Capricorns, and you'll be happy to hear this, is that the 6th house is health, work, and responsibilities. So it also indicates a better outcome with health matters, which is something Capricorns have sort of been struggling with, not really knowing what's going on between September and literally as we speak. So
well,
that is
for my mom. She's just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah.
On the 3rd, we want that kidney call.
Well, and I think that happens after Jupiter goes direct, I think February 4th or so. So between February 4th and the end of May is when that should happen for Capricorns, and get that resolved and kind of live a happily ever after kind of a thing.
We are really open for that. So.
Oh, I don't blame you. Yeah, we're all.
For sure.
Yeah, you got a couple of Capricorns too.
Yes, I've got a Capricorn that just celebrated her birthday too. Happy belated birthday to my stepmom.
Yeah, it was great.
She's been going through a whole bunch of health stuff.
Yeah.
Some things that's still pending on. She just had a big surgery last month. So, yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic that with Jupiter in the 6th house of work and health, that all improves for them this year. So that would be excellent news to have for Capricorns. Yeah, for both of you, because we care about them. We want them to be around, and that.
My mom even said that, it's like we're all celebrating the house because, I just want this to happen. I don't even know if I'm going to be here.
Yeah, but none of us know that. I mean, really, the big scheme of things, none of us know that.
That's exactly what I said too. Yeah. But it's like for somebody who's been waiting, like she's been waiting.
Yeah, she's been waiting almost a year, right? Didn't she get on that list like last June?
Right now, so yeah.
Yeah, and also I don't know. I think it makes the flowers smell sweeter, and just everything about it makes you appreciate that a whole lot more. Not take stuff like that for granted.
Yeah.
But I'm cautiously optimistic with Jupiter in the 6th house of health for Capricorns that those guys are looking for a better outcome.
Yes.
In this year. And then the second half of the year, they get to, their public image goes up. Jupiter gets in their 7th house of partners. So if they're single, they'll attract someone. If they're in a relationship, that goes well. And I just think overall for Capricorns, it's a pretty good year for them.
Good.
And they deserve it. Yeah. So for Aquarians, this energy for Aquarians, and they've had financial issues, but I think the big thing for Aquarians is the first half of the year, they focus on the creative process. Love, creativity, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, all of that works out pretty darn well for Aquarians. And I think that the second half of the year from June through December, they end up the kind of thing is when Jupiter's in your 5th house, you want to create new stuff. And a lot of times what you can do with that energy is take something that was an avocation and turn it into a vocation. So the idea for Aquarians is to follow your muse, let your creativity out, and then see if it can't grow into something of substance. And then it'll do that, and then you can bring that into being between June and December. So for Aquarians everywhere, love works very well for them, career, and then the second half of the year, it's career and work and opportunities work well for them. Mm-hmm. For Pisces, God bless them, have really struggled. Saturn's been in their sign for the last 18 months, and I can tell you, having Saturn opposing your sign, it blows. Yeah. So Saturn in your sign just means everything is harder. It doesn't mean you can't get what it is that you want. You just got to work so much harder to try and get it, which is always the big challenge. And for them, with Jupiter being in their fourth house of home and foundations, they get to do something the first 6 months of the year that makes it easier for them, more stable, their home, their foundations. It's a good time to purchase real estate. And I know that there are 14,000, messed up homes in Pinellas County from the hurricane. And I think that with Jupiter being in Gemini, that they get to fix that they get to recover that. And then Tyreek Hill, I think, gets another job.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't think he
Tyreek
gets
Hill
that right
roughly.
away. Yeah, I don't think, he's a Pisces. I don't think he gets that right away. I don't think that happens till June or July, like right before it's time to report to training camp.
Ooh, so he's gonna be waiting.
It's the
Oh, his-
Miami Dolphins.
yeah.
In case you missed it, he says he's out. He wants out of Miami. He's done with him.
He's a Pisces. His quarterback, Pisces, and Tua's been out because he's just gotten thrown all over the place and gotten injured all over the place. So, but I know that Tua is coming back, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right, and the head coach is coming back.
Looks like the whole
And
thing's down
Tyreek
there.
won't. I think he's going to go somewhere else. And I don't know that that's a smart move for him. But he's not going to call me and ask. I don't think.
I think that was my question. Is that's gonna be a smart move for him to just pick up and leave?
Well,
No, actually, I think the Dolphins do really well in 2025. I'm not so sure that's a good move. And that's also why I think that he probably won't know. Like, I don't think he's going to know the day after Super Bowl where he's going.
Sure.
I think it's going to take a little while for that to play out for him. So, but for Pisces everywhere, the important thing is they want to put down roots. They want to be part of a home, a family, a community. They want to make sure that their foundations are solid, and that's what they spend the first 6 months doing. And then the second 6 months they fall in love because Jupiter's down. I know you've a vested interest in that too. But I think that when Jupiter gets into their fifth house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, it's time for love for Pisces. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Well, good luck with that. But I think that I think it will be about time. But that starts after about the 10th or so of June.
Aw.
So the first half of the year, home and foundation. Second half, love. And I don't know about you, but when I fall in love, I fall off the face of the earth. That's pretty much all I want to do. So it's good to have your foundations in good shape before you go ahead and do that. For Aries, Jupiter's in their third house of day-to-day living. Short distance, short duration travel, communications, very important. Aries get an opportunity to learn something pretty useful about their world. And it's the type of thing where it's additional education, but it's not like getting a master's degree or a PhD. It's some sort of a certification or some sort of something you need to know to do what it is you do better. But the thing for Aries is they really got to budget their time because you're going to have a lot of things to do and not a lot of time to do them all in. And the biggest challenge is to not backtrack, not to duplicate efforts, to try and just do it in one area would be the big challenge. And then the second half of the year, home, they want to purchase a home even if they're not planning on living there right away. It's a good time for home. Oh yeah, you got one of them going on, don't you?
Kind of described it. So my daughter, my Aries daughter, she's mentioned more than once over the past month now about maybe either advancing in what she's doing right now or looking for that next move. And
Yeah.
of course, she's getting married in June.
Oh yeah, well, and
And
then a new house. That's pretty likely. That's the putting down roots, the part of the home, the foundation, the family. And for Aries, that's the second half of the year from June to December. But before that, if she's going to change jobs, there's some additional education. And I know she's doing welding, and there may be some sort of certification inside of that.
Yeah, she runs the floor now. She's in charge of the
2
other
years into
welders
it,
now.
right? 2 years
Yeah.
into it?
Yeah, so she's without getting too much into it, that she's just looking to expand now, just to kind of keep climbing those steps
Yeah,
in her
well,
career. So
Throw Baker Mayfield in that group too,
Okay.
because he's an Aries, and I just think he's amazing. I just think I'm not saying that he can replace Tom Brady, but we're in the playoffs.
tell you what, if it wasn't
You know,
for-
and I mean, he has done a jam-up job with that offense. Honest to God, I know that offensive coordinator has a lot to do with it, but he stood there and took hit after hit after hit and stayed in the game. And I loved him yesterday going, somebody's got to win this game. It may as well be me.
the runs,
You know?
his runs, like
Man.
obviously he throws stars. There's no doubt about that when it comes to Baker Mayfield. But you can see when he decides he's going to pull the ball down and start running.
Yeah.
There-
Covers
he's-
with both his
he's going
hands
for it,
and just
man. He's got determination.
Yeah.
Ever. Which, he finished the season ranking among league leaders in completions, completion percentage, passing yards, passing touchdowns,
He
tied for second on that, total touchdowns, and even passer rating.
He should have been named to the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, I know.
honestly, that was
Yeah.
like what
Pro Bowl
the.
legit.
Especially
Job of the
where
century.
I'm glad he's not playing because to me all you can do is get hurt.
Yep.
I mean, if you really want to go to Hawaii, go ahead. But from where he came from, I mean, this is the year that he lived up to the promise of being a first-round draft pick.
It's really funny
because
his I guess draft mate this year plays for the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold. They were actually drafted 1 and 2, I believe it was, and they're both now. Everybody's holding them in high regard.
Yeah.
because they had a little speed bump there, but now all of a sudden,
Like a
look
6-year
at 'em.
speed bump.
Yeah.
I mean, to stay in the, I just, how do you go from being a Heisman Trophy winner, being the best ever to not being that high?
First player picked in the NFL draft.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I just.
Sam
good
Darnold
Lord.
was the third pick in that
Third pick.
draft.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, but
there's
still.
a Saquon Barkley
Oh,
in between.
Saquon. That's right. Nice.
But Baker went number 1.
He's in there too, by the way. He's
So.
in the playoffs as well.
And I am cautiously optimistic for Sunday with Baker Mayfield.
Let's go.
I am. I'm cautiously optimistic that we could beat the Commanders. Is it going to be a lay down? No, I don't think so.
No.
Is it going to go to the last 20 seconds? Oh, probably.
Okay.
But I think at the end of the day, we're still playing.
Let's bake, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was drafted 7th in that class as
Oh,
well.
wow.
So
What a draft.
Lamar Jackson 32.
Yeah, it was quite the class. So for him to have knocked around for 6 years and now finally getting, the and I think it's terrible when you're a number 1 draft pick, and you go to the crummiest team ever.
Yeah.
It's like,
True.
wow, thanks.
Not
I went
setting
from
you up too well.
Yeah, exactly. So, but for Aries everywhere, I think that the first half of the year is learning something that helps them advance.
Gotcha.
It's some sort of certification.
Okay.
And then the second half is putting down roots, buying a home, being a part of doing all of that. So, and then after that, it's get pregnant. So you need to know that too.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's going to happen sooner rather than later, just so she knows. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For Tauruses, this energy for Taurus, and I think this energy for Taurus is great energy. They finally, starting February 4th, make the money that they've been trying to make since May of last year. That's when Jupiter first went into their second house of money. And it's sort of like a lot of opportunities looked like they were popping off and then stopped all in September. Just came to a screeching halt. You look around and you go, somebody just turned the money faucet off, and that's pretty much what they did.
Yeah.
And so it's been like playing catch up ever since, because they were kind of counting on that happening, and then the money just wasn't there. But the money comes back, which is the important thing to know, after February 4th.
Okay.
So between February 4th and June is when they end up making a boatload more money. And this is earned income. This is not money falling out of the sky on them. This is money through the fruits of their own labor. And then Ben Johnson.
He's the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. When you talk about making more money, I'm thinking that means he's going to be a head coach somewhere.
No.
He's a Taurus. But I think he's going to stick around long enough to do the playoffs.
Well, yeah. I mean, he stuck
You know?
around last year. Everyone thought he was going to get hired somewhere. He's like, I'm sticking with the Lions.
Well, yeah, but once you, check that square, then it's, kind of,
It's true. Got to check the square, though.
yeah, and I just think that for Taurus is when you talk about what can they do to make more money, I think there's way more money as head coach than there is as an offensive coordinator.
Interesting.
Just saying.
Just saying.
That's what I think for them. So, but for Taurus is everywhere. It's more money.
Okay.
And then the latter half of the year for them, it is short distance, short duration travel, reaching a broader audience with your words, and some sort of additional certification there's some sort of legal thing going on that happens the second half of the year. So
Okay.
be careful when you're signing contracts and agreements that have a long term and no outs.
Maybe a marriage certificate?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Feel
Looking over
bad.
there
Yeah,
going,
right?
yeah, just that's that contract that
Hard
has
out
no
right there.
outs. That's what I was thinking. So, for Gemini, this energy for I gotta say, just from the get go, with Mars being in Cancer retrograde for Gemini, I think it's challenging financially for them.
Damn.
I know. I hate to mention it, but the good news for that is Jupiter is in their sign, and it's their best new start in 12 years.
Okay.
And Jupiter is in Gemini until June, so it's about them advancing their own personal interests.
Love
and
that.
it's them also solidifying relationships. If they're single, they'll attract someone. If they're married, that goes well for them. But partnership matters, and pretty much for Geminis in general, it's a great new start for them. It's, like I said, their best new start since 2013. So that's good news for Geminis. And then the second half of the year, they are rolling in money.
Hell
So
yeah!
yes, they will be able to
Rolling
make.
in money.
Golly!
Yeah, you got to like that. So,
That's
and
right.
Dave Navarro,
Yeah, which
gotta.
is, yeah, I was gonna say it's so interesting you mentioned that because Dave Navarro, Jane's Addiction. He's June 7th, 1967. Dave, along with their drummer and let's see here, Stephen Perkins, as well as
Yeah.
bassist Eric Avery, they're working on new music, but not with their frontman Perry Farrell. He's
Yeah.
currently not recording with them. So I
Yeah.
was curious to know, like, what do the stars have to say?
I think it ends up being
Perry Farrell's
successful.
March 29th, 1959. Could they ever repair their relationship and work together? Is this just going to be a Jane's Addiction without Perry?
I think it's going to be Jane's Addiction without Perry. And if he does come back, it will not be. It probably won't be for 2 years, unfortunately.
Wow.
So, but Dave Navarro for Gemini, he's taking the front, is he not? I mean, who's the
don't know
lead
about
singer
that.
for them now? I mean,
no, but I don't know. They don't have
somebody's
anybody
got to
right
be recording lead vocals.
It's.
now, unless they're just doing the music right now.
I
you
know that they do have some lyrical input as well too. They have lyricists among the people in that band besides Perry Farrell. But yeah, it is very interesting that
Yeah.
they would be doing that.
Yeah, who's doing the vocals?
Here are the songs, Perry. If you want to sing them, you're gonna have to apologize and
Yeah.
stop hitting
And
people
not
on stage.
take swings at me anymore.
Yeah.
But I think there are a lot of psychological issues going on in that, and I don't think that those have been resolved yet, unfortunately. Unfortunately, for Aries anyway. But for Dave Navarro, it's a great new start. It's time to put up or shut up kind of deal.
Jane's Addiction's a great brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Cancers, Mars is in their sign between now and April and May, and Cancers are going to have to fight for their rights in just about everything. Jupiter is behind their sign. It's not a good time for Cancers to start new things. It's a good time for Cancers to finish up stuff that's already been in motion, literally over the last 10 years or so.
Jeez.
Not just the last couple of months or so, but 10 years worth of effort is kind of getting wrapped up with Jupiter being in Gemini. But then Jupiter goes into their sign for their best new start since 2013, and it does that in June. And I know you got a Cancer daughter too.
I do.
So she'll be looking forward to new starts personally, professionally, just kind of wiping the first 6 months of the year for Cancers, kind of wipes the slate clean.
Well, she just moved to out of town to a whole another town now. So
Wow.
yep, and she's that's the wiping the slate clean.
Yeah,
right
wiping
there.
the slate clean. Yeah,
More than-
leaving whatever it is behind you
Yep,
that needs to be behind you, and then going forward. Clean.
sounds great.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
also looking for a house. So she moved. She's saving up for a place now, and
But she's not going to buy a house right now.
not right.
This
this
is a
second.
renting thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't think that she ends up buying a house for like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
But then she'll be in a good position to do that.
Nice.
But based on the new starts between June and December, there's a lot of healthy stuff going on for Cancers.
That's great.
Yeah, because we always want that.
Absolutely.
For Leos, this energy for Leos is great energy for Leos. They get to achieve a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective, and I have to laugh because Mike Evans is a Leo, and literally watching him in that game, it was hard to watch the last 2 minutes or so because they keep going to him on the bench, and you can see him going, "Can they please turn the ball over? I just need one more touch." I mean, that guy caught the ball probably, I want to say 10 times in that game and got an inch each time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the longest 50 yards ever.
Mhm.
It took a whole game to get there, and finally the last, and I think whoever that Washington commander is, that not Washington commander, the
You're on the Saints.
yeah, the saint that did not guard him should get a check too. Somebody should say thank you so much, because he was kind of standing there a little bit alone, and there were 2 guys on another buck, but not on him. But again, long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective. And then Bucky Irving is born 2 days before Mike Evans.
Oh.
Had a great game too.
Mhm.
And so I think that's kind of indicative for Leos everywhere achieving a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective, some sort of dream coming true for them.
Well, I did win the Green Flame last
See?
couple weeks ago. There, the Green Flame, as it's a very popular golfing trophy.
Oh.
The Green Flame Championship. You may have heard of it or not, or maybe not.
Definitely haven't.
No, you haven't.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
But congratulations!
Well, you have joined an
There you
elite
go.
group
It's
of
a
guys
trophy.
that
My buddy had it for 2 years, and it's finally come back to Tampa. So now they got to come here.
Brought
to
it
play
back
for the
home.
Trophy. All right. So
No.
I think that's probably, I'm cautiously optimistic that that, the Bucks will win next Sunday because of that too. I'm just kind of hoping about that. So, but for Geminis, for Leos everywhere, longstanding hope, wish, goal, objective, their male friends and colleagues will help them achieve that. And you got to know Todd Bowles was going, I need him to get this 1,000 yards, but boy, if they get that ball, wow, we're a touchdown and an extra, and we still got a point above that. There's only 20 seconds left. It's sort of like, and I think somebody would have hung him. Literally, there would have been a lynching on the field if they did not throw the ball to him.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I think everybody in the stadium wanted him to get it. I think even some of the Saints might have wanted him to get it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank that guy. But again, for Leos everywhere, that's a good omen. And then doing that, they get to rest on their laurels between June and December. They get to finish up a lot of stuff because Jupiter will be going into their sign the next year in 2026. So they kind of want to look. They want to look to the 2013 time span to say, what can I finish up? What have I had in motion since then?
Mm-hmm.
What can I finish up so the decks are cleared for new action for me, for you, the Leo, when Jupiter gets into your sign.
So I got some consult and stuff coming on some of the different things I'm working on, some legal consult and stuff like that. So this is getting that.
Get all those
ready.
ducks in a row. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's good news there. For Virgos, Dan Quinn.
Is the Washington Commanders head coach.
Yeah. I'm not so sure that's a good win for him. I'm kind of happy to see that. Jupiter's at the top of their chart and it's sort of like so close to getting the brass ring, and then boom, it gets ripped away from them. And I think Ron DeSantis found that out too, that he's not going to be.
Get Ronnie in there.
Yeah, Ronnie. Yeah, because he's a Virgo too. There are a lot of us running around. But I just think that they're so close to getting that professional brass ring. And it happens after February 4th, so that's after Super Bowl. That tells me that I don't think the Commanders are going to be in the Super Bowl, is what that tells me.
Interesting.
But I think next year you got to look out for them because that's when they get to achieve a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective.
A rookie year for a quarterback is not supposed to be as good as what Jaden Daniels just went through. He has an amazing first year. He's a phenom, and it's pretty exciting to see how that
living
goes
up to the
forward.
hype.
Yeah, except for not this year. All right.
No. So, but for Virgos everywhere, this is energy. They just have to, and they think that they're going to get the brass ring, the professional brass ring, and that's not very likely this year for them. But the second half of the year is much better for saying this is a Virgo. The second half of the year is much better for Virgos achieving a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective rather than the first half of the year.
You know my Virgo.
I do know you're a
What
Virgo.
would you say? Is there a message that you could throw out there to my Virgo about what she should expect coming up over the next few?
I think she should expect much better times between June and December
Okay.
than between now and June. I think the professional stuff, she's already gotten what she's going to get. I don't think that there's going to be another advancement.
Yeah, she had a nice last year.
Right. Yeah. But because Jupiter was direct also for a good part of it. I just think that I don't think you guys get married this year. Not
this
the
year?
first half. Not the first half.
Okay.
Maybe more likely the second half. That
Second
would be a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective.
Why do I feel married? I feel married right now.
Yeah. Because you are.
Yeah.
You're pre-engaged.
I got it all.
Yeah, really. I mean, I don't know that you need a contract,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're pretty much there.
Yeah.
Pretty much a lot of us are there. Looking around at all of us going, do I really want to sign a document? Gives away half of everything I own. Gives me, and I don't even mind that nearly as much as the 100% of the liability for someone else. That's my much bigger concern. So, but for Virgos everywhere, the second half of the year is more gratifying for Virgos. And again, Saturn is opposing our sign, and we've had to say goodbye to people that we really weren't ready to say goodbye to.
Yeah.
That just kind of happened. And,
Yeah.
so that I just think the second half is much more fun
Okay.
for Virgos than the first half. For Libras, this energy is in the 9th house of legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance, contracts, negotiations, the higher courts. And I keep thinking, what does that mean for Kamala Harris? Because she's a Libra. I'm curious what that means.
What's next for her?
Yeah. There's a lot of talk that, something's going to change today, and I don't know about
Daytime talk
that.
show.
The TikTok.
Yeah.
It's the Kamala Harris show.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they get to travel long distance, and contracts go very favorably, and I think that for Libras everywhere, I think it's pretty good energy for them.
Okay.
tell you the truth. I don't think Mars in Cancer is great, which is what she found out in the election.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I don't know what that means with it being retrograde now. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I've given up. I'm not going to predict politics anymore because,
Stay tuned.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I know that contracts, negotiations, all of that go well. And then the second half of the year, they enjoy a lot more professional success than the first half of the year. And then for Scorpios, I am cautiously optimistic that Mars in Cancer is very, very good for Scorpios because our head coach is a Scorpio. And Jupiter's in the 8th house of other people's money, and they end up benefiting from other people's resources. And I'm pretty sure if you keep playing in January, you make more money.
Yeah,
Right.
I love that Todd Bowles is stepped out of the shadow of Bruce Arians and is actually getting credit now for his
team.
the shorthanded defense he's had, coaching, and then with all the other things you do when you're a head coach as opposed to a defensive coordinator. A lot of people out there didn't think he could do it.
Well, not in October.
Yeah.
It looked really bad. Things are looking. But again, I'm the only one that realizes that the Bucks never do well in October. Doesn't matter who our head coach is. We always do because we're Capricorns, and October traditionally with Libra is a very difficult time for Capricorn.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm cautiously optimistic with that as well for them, and so that's it for Capricorn or for Scorpios. I think there is, and I think that I'm glad they won this last game because I was really worried about him not having his job. But I think because John Gruden comes to town and is sort of like sniffing at that job, and
Right.
and I think that I don't think he retires. I think that he stays at least around for one more year. Is kind of what this indicates to me.
Okay.
So, and I think I would want to stay around long enough to win a Super Bowl in my own right, not just as a defensive coordinator, but as the king of all kings.
Man, would be great.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know if we do it this year, but I do know we can definitely do it next year.
Yeah, like what was it? What's that? Hard Knocks. Wouldn't the Bucks Hard Knocks story be great for this past season here so far? The hurricanes coming through,
It's true.
the injuries, the storyline.
Quick, we lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the
Yeah.
same game.
I mean, if it
and
ended
the
right
fact
now,
that-
it'd be a great one, but there's more story.
So much story.
And the fact
but
that-
isn't there a bit of a curse with the Hard Knocks too? It seems like at a
Right,
time
yeah.
you're like,
That's like-
Same time,
yeah,
glad
yeah,
we're on that, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
That's like being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. USF has not recovered from the time that their name was on the cover.
Oh, really?
It wasn't
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
their team was on, just their name was on the cover, and they haven't been able to get arrested, although they are getting a stadium, so gotta like that. So that was Scorpio. For Sagittarians, this is, I think it's pretty good energy for Sagittarians. It's their public image, and I have to admire Aaron Rodgers coming back from an Achilles tendon tear.
Yeah.
You know, just the fact that he was able to get back on the field and throw the ball and didn't he have 3 touchdowns yesterday?
4 is what Crash, I think, was saying, right?
Yeah.
3 or 4? Enough.
Enough.
He had enough.
Best showing of the year, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think he's going to go, okay, I've had enough. That's it for me. Honestly, I do. I don't think that he's got anything left to prove. You know, and I think that the fact that he could recover from that and play a whole season is amazing. It's quite a testament to his athletic prowess. So,
Saw his Enigma special and on Netflix, and it was pretty interesting. If you think you have a feel for Aaron Rodgers, whether you like him or not, I would definitely watch that. Very in tune spiritually, and very not afraid to explore spiritually either.
yeah, no, I admire his braveness. That's a Sagittarian, though. The words just fall out of their
Yeah.
mouth. They just say things.
Not afraid. No.
The other Sagittarian is Jaden Daniels.
Ah.
You know, and again, I'm cautiously optimistic that he does not have a good day next Sunday. I'm cautiously, I mean, it's a great story, but I really
He's
have.
already had a great season, so. What's
Yeah. He
Now-
have a great season next year.
Janet, can I ask one probing question about a Washington commander that we skipped over?
Uh-oh.
He's a Taurus. It's Marshawn Lattimore.
Oh, that's right.
He plays for Washington. Him and Mike Evans do not get along, and we're
Oh,
talking
wow. I didn't
oil
think
and
about
water.
that.
Now, Marshawn Lattimore's been injured for the last couple weeks.
Is he going to come back in the game?
Can you take a look? If I feed you his birthday
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
do you think you could?
I can check it out
Let's
There's
see.
a lot of reading going on right now.
I
as
know.
we speak.
May 20th of 96. Does that make him a Taurus? I think is that the last day?
Actually, that makes him a Gemini.
Oh, okay.
So he's a Gemini, May 20th. I do not think he has a great game. I'm
Do
happy
you think
to
he
say.
plays? I mean, he hasn't played the last couple games. I guess.
Oh, I think he would play. I think
Okay.
he'd play even if he had nubs for feet.
Ooh.
He would try to play. I don't think.
Matchup of the year of the playoffs.
I do not think he has a good outcome.
Interesting.
So I think Mike Evans is gonna. I don't want to say knock his dick in the dirt, but knock his dick in the dirt. That's what's going to happen
Love
there.
to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Happy to hear that.
It'd be nice to see the rise of Jalen McMillan in the playoffs if that were to be the case. If Mike's all tied up,
Yeah.
see where you take it where he left off yesterday.
Yeah. I just think he's again all last year. That's all we were saying here at 98 Rock was pay the man.
Yeah.
Pay the man. We cannot win without him. And when he went down in the fall, he and Chris Godwin went out on the same day. I was thinking, oh my God, there go the Bucks' hopes. And yeah, I mean, Mike Evans came back from that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just
Solid guy.
I love that they did
Solid
whatever
person.
they could do to cut him a check. Like, it was 5 yards right at the end of the season. He could have sat. They could have saved themselves $3.5, $4 million. And
I do like
the
that
man
about the
paid.
Bucks. So they learned that lesson. Who'd they learn that lesson with? Who was our first quarter? Oh, Doug Williams. Yeah, came back to bite us. So I was really happy to see that they made, because I mean it was a big roll of the dice. Had it failed, had they scooped up the ball and run it downfield, they could have. That was a big gamble. So, but I think Mike Evans, with everything Mike Evans has done for that team, I would have been really disappointed if they didn't do that.
I think the whole NFL
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we started out with Capricorn, and I missed saying something about Justin Trudeau.
Oh.
I think the challenge is on for him. I don't think he resigns being the prime minister, but I think his political career is done. And I'm curious, reading that he's going to resign. I'm thinking, did he come here to ask Donald Trump for a job? Is that what he came here to ask? Did he know that was going to happen?
That's
So,
the thing right now.
so. Look, what else? Mercury retrogrades 3 times in 2025.
Ugh.
Yeah. It retrogrades in Aries from March 13th to April 7th. And then it retrogrades again from July 17th to August 12th. And then the third time, just to kick our butts, in November, from November 9th through the 29th.
Wow.
So
Okay.
be prepared. Just don't sign anything, begin anything, believe what you hear, and that kind of a deal. So,
All right.
Okay.
When's the next time we're supposed to dance naked again?
March 20th.
Nice. Okay.
Tomorrow.
During Mercury in retrograde.
Yay!
That sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah, right?
People are getting caught probably dancing naked out there.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do it again. You
right.
caught again. It's bound to be done over again.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
That's what we
Tomorrow's
got.
news today.
That's the Star Goddess podcast. Thanks for following Crash and AJ on the free iHeartRadio app here, all
Yeah,
right?
talk to you next week. Of course, any questions for Janet, get those in now.
Yeah.
You can drop at any time in the Talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app. You
Yeah.
can also email me, AJ at 98rock.com. And Janet, where can they go for more insight from you
They can. They
directly?
can call me directly at it's stargoddess98rock.com. But I'm going to charge them. That's why it's so much better to do it here, because here it's free. And if you call up, you get the interactive thing that normally clients pay $100 for.
Mhm.
They get the interactive. I mean, not that I don't love the iHeart, app, but yeah.
Make sure you get those services in 2025.
Yeah. Love money. If you got time, how's the health? That's what people want. No one's ever asked me about the mysteries of the universe or, what were those drones? What were those orbs? No one's ever asked me anything like that.
Like paid or laid.
Mysteries.
That's it.
Paid or laid.
Got
The
it.
paid and laid show. That's what they want to know.
All right. You guys have a
$100
great- Have a
Yeah.
great week. Thanks for listening to Crash and AJ on the free iHeartRadio app.